Andrew, what was that?
That was me practicing my French horn for the new intro music.
No, we talked about this. This is the new intro music.
How's it going, Talking Sports fans? I'm one of your hosts, Andrew Volkman. This is my co-host right next to me,
Miles Shield. How's everyone doing?
Doing great, everybody. We're on episode number 17 today. We got a good amount of stuff to cover today. We got a little bit of a news segment to start off of with. We also got the return of QAQB featuring a certain Dolphins quarterback. And to end off the show, we got two other segments with players that we believe could have career resurgences in the NFL. And finally breaking down Jeff Passan's new article on ESPN about players that could be traded this upcoming MLB trade deadline. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. First little bit of news we are going to cover today. Yesterday on Sunday, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown added 5 new names to the Hall of Fame. Dick Allen, CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, Dave Parker, and Billy Wagner. Shout out to CC Sabathia, former Milwaukee Brewer for half a season, but he was really good. He pitched a lot in those games that he played with the Brewers, and that was instrumental to helping the Brewers make the postseason, make that postseason push.
Yeah, I was reading a little article about how CC Sabathia, even though he wasn't there for a while, he got the Brewers out of their funk, out of that playoff drought they had. And
definitely.
Really reset them so then they could make the playoffs many years after that.
Yeah. Also, the Brewers had that alumni home run derby on Friday, and that was a home run, no pun intended.
That was amazing.
That was really good. Like, Keon Broxton won that, which was really cool.
Well, it's because he was young.
Yeah, he's the youngest, and he is probably the most raw power out of those guys currently. But you had, let me think real quick.
Yovani Gallardo.
He
played great.
Yeah, he was great. You had Corey Hart, who didn't look like he missed a beat at all.
Prince Fielder
was there.
Billy
Hall, Ryan Braun, Gogo Gomez.
Hey, the walk-off, the celebration,
yes.
The Prince Fielders. Oh, yes, that was really funny. That was a great way to end the night.
Yeah, that was all great on Friday night. But moving on, continuing with the baseball theme, we had the real first big trade since the Rafael Devers trade a couple months ago. We had Josh Naylor going to the Seattle Mariners from the Arizona Diamondbacks for 2 prospects. And quite honestly, the Seattle Mariners made an absolute fleece job of the Arizona Diamondbacks, trading 2 pitching prospects, Brandon Garcia and Ashton Izzy. Ashton Izzy was the Mariners' number 13 overall prospect when this trade went down. And the big thing about Ashton Izzy is he has an electric fastball. That's really all he's got going. But maybe the Diamondbacks can develop him kind of how they developed Zach Gallen over time. And then Brandon Garcia is a lefty who was a starter in the minor leagues and right now broke into the bullpen for the Mariners and has been pitching pretty solid. He's young. He has a lot of team control, but realistically, the Diamondbacks got some guys that probably won't be anything crazy. Like Ashton Izzy may not make it more than like a 3 in the rotation. So no top 100 prospects for the Diamondbacks with this trade. So definitely a fleece job by the Mariners here.
Yeah, they messed this one up. I mean, Josh Naylor has been great. And I know, Andrew, before the show you were talking about, his power numbers are down. He's a get-on-base guy. But still, he is a top hitter right now in this league. And in a league where it's so hard to hit the baseball, that is something that they should have really milked the cow, taken everything from the Mariners they could have.
And the Mariners got a lot of prospects in that system.
They have tons.
They got like maybe...
I would have definitely wanted to switch-handed pitcher.
Yes, definitely.
That would have been the first guy I would have asked for.
Durangelo Sinjay on the Diamondbacks would have been kind of funny to see, I'm not going to lie. But I'm not saying Josh Naylor's a bad player by his power numbers going down. I think that his game changing to being a more of an on-base guy, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And I think the Mariners definitely needed that, someone to build around with Julio Rodriguez to surround them with. So definitely an upgrade compared to Luke Raley at first base for the Mariners. Moving on to the next trade that went down, which was literally the next day, the Yankees traded for third baseman of the Colorado Rockies, Ryan McMahon. So Ryan McMahon will be stepping into a Yankees team that desperately needs an upgrade at third base after Oswaldo Cabrera went down with that horrible ankle injury against the Mariners a couple months ago. So he's doing good, though. I will say that Oswald Cabrera is doing a lot better now. Because Oswald Peraza, not Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza, two completely different players. Oswald Peraza has not been very good. He's good defensively, but Peraza is not that good. The Rockies received 2 pitching prospects, left-handed pitcher Griffin Herring and right-handed pitcher Josh Groves. And realistically, Rockies can't really do anything with pitching in Coors Field. So, what do you think, Miles?
I mean, I like the trade. I thought they would go get Suarez, the guy from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
Diamondbacks third baseman. He's been cranking home runs, and to me, that seems like a Yankees guy. You know, when I think of home runs, I think of the Yankees. But I don't hate the trade, and I think that the Yankees organization and Aaron Boone can really turn around McMahon, who's not having a terrible season. 16 home runs.
He's hitting around 220. So
listen. The average is pretty bad, but the home runs, I'll take it, and I think he'll be able to really play better with the Yankees rather than the Rockies.
Yeah, and this will also be good for Jazz Chisholm, who was playing third base for a little while, and now Jazz Chisholm can realistically move back to the middle infield, which is the position he belongs at, because he's not that good defensively.
No.
Not at all. So moving Jazz back to second and having Ryan McMahon playing third base in a lineup that he is protected in. You have Aaron Judge, you have Cody Bellinger, you got Austin Wells in there as well, you got Jazz, like I just mentioned. I think Ryan McMahon will be pretty good, and this will be the first time he'll actually be playing postseason ball. He'll be in postseason contention since 2018 when he was with the Rockies, when the Rockies made the wild card against the Milwaukee Brewers, and they actually they lost to the Dodgers in a game 163 to lose the division, I remember. Rockies made the playoffs in 2018. Think about that.
That's it's crazy.
And our best pitcher was Kyle Freeland, I believe, and that was his rookie year. And look at where Kyle Freeland is now. He's not very good.
Yeah.
But either way, Ryan McMahon traded to the New York Yankees. Now, once again, continuing with the baseball theme, little funny tidbit here. Rich Hill, who's 45 years old.
Yeah.
He's played for 11 different MLB teams. Will be making... Actually, he made his Royals debut at 45 years old, and he pitched a couple scoreless innings. I mean, Rich Hill continues to dominate. His fastball tops out at 86.
Oh my gosh!
And it's so funny. I remember Rich Hill when he was on the Pirates in 2020. I think it was 2023. Was like the last time he actually was making consistent starts for the Pirates. Like he was a sought after trade piece at the deadline because he was pitching really, really good. He almost made an All-Star team that year. And I think the Padres traded for him, and he didn't pitch very good. I'll tell you that, but fell out of the league after that. I think 2024 he didn't even pitch at all, and now 2025 he's made a couple minor league starts, and now he's been called up by the Royals, and so far it's been so good.
Yeah,
for Rich Hill. So shout out to Rich Hill, 45 years old, the current active oldest player in the MLB.
Old man Rich.
I mean, if Ryan Braun wants to come back out of retirement, he would be 42, I believe. So
hey. We're down.
Yeah, I would love to see Ryan Braun get one more game, and I'll say that. Another baseball story. Today, we got some breaking news that Emmanuel Clase, the all-star closing pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, has been suspended, or not suspended. He's been put on non-disciplinary paid leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff there, but just to break it down, he is not going to be able to pitch for a little bit while, but he's still getting paid by the Cleveland Guardians for right now, so that's pretty interesting. And I remember his terrible postseason last year after he won reliever of the year, and he didn't give up he only gave up 5 runs the whole regular season last year.
Yeah.
And he pitched terrible in the postseason. And now this year he's been good.
He's been good.
But he's not been the same level as last year. So maybe that's why he had the whole gambling thing going on behind the scenes. That's what Major League Baseball is investigating, is the gambling probe around Emmanuel Clase. So definitely sucks for Cleveland fans, because I know Emmanuel Clase was also a guy that could be on the trade block this year, because the Guardians have not been that good. So
way too close to the mic there.
It's all right. So
yeah,
Emmanuel Clase put on non-disciplinary paid leave by MLB.
All right, we're done talking about baseball now. Let's move on to football.
For now, we're done talking about baseball.
Yes, so a big move from the Tennessee Titans. Traylon Burks has been waived. This wide receiver was a former first-round pick in 2023, I believe.
Yeah, that was the year after they traded A.J. Brown.
Right, they traded A.J. Brown, and this was supposed to be their replacement. Ended up being terrible for them. Injuries, just all around bad play. Otherwise, we can blame inconsistent quarterbacks with it too.
Yeah.
He broke his collarbone in training camp, and that completely derailed his season. So, two guys who should have been the headpieces of that Titans franchise, Will Levis and Traylon Burks, both down with season-ending injuries. One of them shipped off, and we're expecting to see Will Levis within the next year be shipped off too.
Or just let go in free agency. Yeah, but you get what we mean. So.
Yeah. All right, and continuing football, Deion Sanders has officially beaten cancer. He had surgery, got his tumor removed. Obviously, it was pretty clear that he was going through things physically. You could see that he looked sick, but he's been a huge piece for football in general. When he was on the field, he was, arguably the greatest corner of all time.
Yeah.
And now, coaching in college, he has been phenomenal and completely turned around that Colorado team and gotten them so much more money and brought in a lot more fans to college football.
Yeah, so happy to hear that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is back.
Coach Prime is back.
Coach Prime is back, so shout out to Colorado and Coach Prime.
Yeah.
And the final piece of news, we're going over to the NASCAR side of things. So yesterday was the Brickyard 400 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the world center of racing, or I guess that's Daytona. The heart of racing, I should say.
Yes.
I should say that. But Bubba Wallace, who races for Michael Jordan, NBA great, and was driving the number 23 car for Michael Jordan's team, 2311 Racing, co-owned as well by Denny Hamlin, current NASCAR Cup Series driver. Bubba Wallace became the first black driver to win the Brickyard 400 in history. So how about that for Bubba Wallace at 2311 Racing? Yeah, and even despite that, with 2311 Racing losing a big piece of money from NASCAR in an ongoing lawsuit with NASCAR, they were still able to come out to the Brickyard and win Bubba Wallace a win. Give Bubba Wallace a win. That snaps a 100-race winless streak for Bubba Wallace as well.
Wow. So if you guys, sorry to interrupt you, but if you guys like NASCAR and you like what you're hearing from Andrew has his own spin-off show. It's great. Talking NASCAR. He gets international listeners. I mean, he's got people from Russia. He's got people from where else?
I think I got someone from New Zealand,
UK.
Yeah.
So
I
you
got
know,
some Canadian. I got some Canadians listening.
Canadians. He's got everyone. All right. So if you really like NASCAR and you like what you hear, go check out Talking NASCAR. Not to brag, but I did kind of start that for you. Andrew's 1 minute race. We all remember that segment from episodes, 3 or 4 or whatever, and Andrew dominated, and he's got his own show now. So,
and don't worry, Miles, I'm pulling sponsor plugs at the end of my episodes.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is your little sponsor plug.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But
of course,
congratulations to Bubba Wallace winning the Brickyard 400 yesterday at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, to end this little news segment to start us off with today, we got to talk about baseball once again, and Bryce Harper, who apparently said some profanity to MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. And Miles, what did Bryce Harper allegedly say? It's not 100% confirmed, but
he said, and I quote, "These are Bryce Harper's words, allegedly. These are not my words." He said, "Get the beep out of our clubhouse." Now, mind you, he didn't say this, to a friend or as a joke. He said this to the commissioner of baseball.
Rob Manfred.
Oh my gosh. The commissioner. That's
the commissioner.
Like going up and saying it to the principal of your school or to your boss. I can't even, the guts that guy has.
I mean, to be fair, Bryce Harper is a multiple-time All-Star, and he's almost won several World Series. So, I mean, I think Bryce Harper's earned his keep when he says that, but this was over a potential salary cap that Rob Manfred wants to add into Major League Baseball, because Major League Baseball is the only North American sport to not have a salary cap, like the NFL or like the NBA. So maybe Rob Manfred wanted to add that in
here. Well, let's talk about that, because
Now it's time for Chilled Spicy Situation.
And today's Shield Spicy Situation is about the MLB and should they or should they not have a salary cap? Andrew, what are you thinking about that?
Well, I don't think the MLB should have a salary cap because I really don't think that's the issue right now. I really don't think that's the main issue. I don't think having a salary cap would fix the problem that the MLB has right now. And it's not that there's too much money or teams are not spending enough money because the Oakland Athletics, they spent a little bit of money with getting Luis Severino. They got Jeffrey Springs. They tried to put a competitive team out on the field, and they've been a little bit better. The White Sox, the Rockies, a little bit. But I would think that you have some players that are just making way too much money, like Frankie Montas, for example. Not trying to pick on Frankie Montas whatsoever. I think Frankie Montas is a good pitcher, but he's not the pitcher making $16 million a season. Like, that type of money is reserved for the players that are like 2 or 3s in the rotation. Frankie Montas was a 2 or 3 in a rotation back in like 2021, but now he's like a 4 or 5, maybe even a 6-man rotation.
Yeah.
Because right now, Frankie Montas realistically should be making like $7-8 million, but no, not $16 million. I think that's the problem. Players getting overpaid and having way too much money and demanding way too much money. Because I don't want to hear any of this crap about players having quality innings is expensive. I don't want to hear that. Quality innings, that's not a thing. You just need pitchers to go out there and pitch. I don't care. Like, if a pitcher's going to give quality innings, that pitcher's worth like $5 million. I don't care. That's so dumb to hear Frankie Montas saying quality innings need their value. They don't have value at all. Quality innings, you're going to pay pitchers $60 million, they better be giving you top-tier innings.
Yeah, so what you're, pretty much, if I understand you correctly, you are saying that there should not be a salary cap, but they need to decide who's going to get the big money and who's not, because not everyone deserves big money.
Yeah, I would say that. And I really don't think it's MLB's fault. I think it's the agents' fault. The agents are just going out there giving their clients these huge amounts of money when some of these pitchers don't deserve it. Like, relievers are going to want $7 million. Like, I think Nick Mears might want $7 million once he enters free agency, which is a little bit much, in my opinion, but he's been a little bit better. If, like, Nick Mears could be more consistent and have a couple good seasons of this type of season, like, I would justify giving $7 million to him, but Frankie Montas, my example, once again, he's definitely not worth $16 million.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, and I totally agree that there are players who do not deserve the money that they're being given. But with that, there are players who are making way more than they deserve, right? What's that going to do? That's going to jack up what the guys who actually deserve it want. They're like, well, I don't want $60 million now if I'm an ace or I'm a big-time pitcher, right? I want $500 million because I am 10 times better than Frankie Montas. And not picking on Frankie just because he's the example we're using here. And here's the other thing. There are big market teams, which I don't like, right? You got the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, right? I'm a Brewers fan. When come free agency or trades, I know there's no chance we can get a guy like Shohei Ohtani when he hit free agency, right?
Like, frankly, I don't think anyone would have afforded Shohei Ohtani's contract when he signed that if there was a salary cap. Just saying.
I disagree, because if there was a salary cap, wherever it may be set, there are 10 more teams that can offer him contracts, which gives more cities and more fans better chance to watch contenders, which in the end will bring in more money for the MLB. The only person suffering here is the players, because now instead of making $500 million, they're making $80 million, which yes is a lot different, but I mean, you're still making $80 million. You're still gonna make a lot of money. You're still gonna be a millionaire by the end of your career,
I guess.
So in the end, it's gonna be, when will the players be able to sacrifice that? And I don't think they will, but I think they should.
I think that overall, at the end of the day, we can have our own opinions, but I really don't see this getting done because, again, players don't want to give it up. Owners don't want a salary floor. Look at the White Sox and the Rockies and the Athletics in years past. And, again, just all those outstanding factors. And I look at the holdout from 2021, like, that may be on the table once again. And, like, I don't want that to happen, but if it comes at the expense of not having a salary cap, because I feel like having the super teams, having the villain, it's a good thing. I feel like you can have that because I point to another sport like NASCAR. They introduced a spec car, which overall has the same parts. Every team has the same parts, and it creates parity. And parity has been bad for NASCAR over the last 2 or 3 years. And I really don't think parity in the MLB is not that good. Like, we haven't seen a repeat champion in a couple years. Like, there's parity on its own. Like, yeah, we're going to have the teams that are going to contend all the time, but it's so hard to win back-to-back World Series. But for things like the NBA or the NFL, you don't have a repeat champion except the Chiefs. Yeah. And you manufacture that. I feel like, though, baseball is a completely different sport, and it doesn't need a salary cap. That's just my opinion, because of all the parity and all the things that can go wrong in a season.
Right. But I think, thinking about the small teams, though, they're most likely never going to see a World Series.
I mean, I look at the Brewers right now, them being the scrappy, small ball team they are.
Right. I agree. And I think the Brewers are great. But then you look at a team like, well, actually, they just destroyed the Dodgers. But a team like the Yankees, right? Let's be honest. Half the players on that Yankees team would never be on the Brewers. And not because they don't like the Brewers. It's because the Brewers can't pay them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a little bit dumb because it's pretty much setting an unfair advantage for certain teams who have more money, which is why a salary cap, even if it's capped off, way above what the Brewers would ever be able to pay, it still puts a little bit of a stop on those teams who would keep paying. Because let's be honest, it's only going to rise, right? The contracts players want, the money they want is only going to keep going up.
Yeah, that's the thing I hate, though.
Right. So I think you put a cap on it, and it may not do the same of what the NFL or the NBA does and make more fairness around the league instead of having super teams. Where this more does stops all those contracts from getting way too high, right? I don't want to see, Juan Soto contract going to somebody who's maybe a top prospect, right? I don't want to see, weird things like that going on because they have money, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is, for the Brewers case, now this is completely different, like, for every single team, but for our owner example, Mark Antanasio and his corporation, he refuses to put money in the team at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't. So I feel like that's more so of an issue the Brewers need to resolve on their own. And I feel like it may be similar for other teams. Like the Mets, they got Steve Cohen, who's willing to put all his money into the team. Or the Dodgers owners, they're willing to put all their money into their team. I just feel like, though, the Brewers are a different case. And maybe, like, what the Dodgers are trying to do, they're trying to get other owners to invest in their team.
Yeah.
So that those teams can be competitive and match their competitiveness. And right now, maybe it's not working, and maybe that's a sign of maybe it's not the right thing, and maybe they do need a salary cap or a salary floor. I just don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to a salary floor, though. I will say the salary for the floor.
Salary floor. I would be fine with that.
I think the salary cap, though, is pushing it a little bit too much for me. I do see all the benefits to a salary cap.
Yes.
It's just I don't completely like it because I don't like what it did to the NFL or the NBA, because that's why I do not watch both those sports.
Yeah, so it's interesting because me and you we have different opinions, because one reason why I struggle to watch MLB is because, number one, the season's incredibly long.
Yeah.
Right, which is the same with the NBA. But with the MLB, it's like, dang, super team. Like, it's so cool to watch the Yankees play. But then when I go to the Brewers, I'm like, yeah, we got this cool little scrappy team, but, our superstar hasn't been there since Christian Yelich won MVP, let's be honest.
I guess. But maybe it's just two different sides of baseball. You have the fan like Miles, who loves competitiveness and home runs and stuff like that. And
Right.
there's those fans out there, and I'm not saying they're bad.
Yeah.
And then you have fans like me who appreciate the small ball that the Brewers are doing, for example, and stealing bases, the old school type of baseball.
Yeah.
And I guess I've kind of fallen in love with that. So
Yeah. Well, I think this is how we can end it and both agree. All right, here's my plan so we're both on the same page.
Okay. Let's do
Okay?
it. Yeah.
No salary cap, right?
Mhm.
Brewers get bought by Jeff Bezos. All right? Hear me out.
Hey,
Jeff Bezos puts bunch of money into the team, right? Like a ton.
yeah.
Like I'll take like 3 billion. 3 billion. You know what? 3 billion right there. Free agency comes around, we take a bunch of the top guys for the next 5 years and make a super team, and bye-bye Yankees, hello Milwaukee Brewers, next dynasty team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And though the same thing is, I will say, dynasties are very hard to come by in modern sports now. I will say that. And I think I'm just not trying to go back down the rabbit hole, but what I said about parity creates itself in the MLB.
Yeah.
So hard to win a championship. Look at the Texas Rangers. In 2023, they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, I agree. And the last real dynasty I can think of is the Yankees, right?
Back in the early 2000s, I would say.
Right, so I just came to another agreement, another thing that will put us both on the same tracks. Derek Jeter, will you please come out of retirement and join the Milwaukee Brewers? All right, that would be great.
Or invest in the Milwaukee Brewers.
Marlins didn't work out so hot.
Well, that's because I think that was after he left.
Okay.
I think that was after he left.
You know what, Derek Jeter? Throw in the money.
When he was in there, Kim Nong, the first ever female general manager, like they made the postseason back in 2023.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Hey.
Maybe we can get Derek Jeter to invest because he invested in the Marlins. So.
All right, Derek Jeter.
But that's all we got for Shield's Spicy Situation this week's edition. Let us know down in the comments what you think. Salary cap or no salary cap in the MLB. Also, check out the MLB Speedway Classics game coming up on Saturday, August 2nd. Reds and Braves in Bristol Motor Speedway.
Wow.
So I'll be tuning in for that one because I'm a NASCAR fan. So.
Sure you will. Our next segment is QAQB. Welcome to QAQB. Questions about quarterbacks. All right, this is a classic segment. We brought it back since almost day one. It's been in a lot of our things. So today, QAQB is about the Dolphins quarterback room. Ooh.
Oh boy.
All right, I don't hate this quarterback room. All right.
Okay.
Usually there are some that I do not like. All right, kind of like the Browns.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, or the Colts. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, me neither.
But this one is a little bit interesting, and I think there's three guys. There's three guys on that roster right now at quarterback who could all honestly compete for a job. If Tua would have struggled a little bit more, I feel like it would have been more of a competition. But here's what I got here. So Tua Tagovailoa, all right, we all know Tua. He's concussion crazy, we will say. Concussions find him everywhere he goes. There was obviously those concerns that he may actually have to retire early.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
After
definitely.
he had several in a row.
Oh, yeah.
People were fired over it. And, it was an insane time because Tua's only 27, right? He could play for another 10 years, all right?
I mean, with his concussion history, though, I'm not sure that he can play 10 years.
I'm not sure. But after he did decide not to retire, which I'm not going to say it's good, I'm not going to say it's bad, but I think it'd be interesting to see the Dolphins without Tua. Because you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, and you're still not doing good. So, what's going to go on? And you also had Jonnu Smith, who had a breakout year all of a sudden. That was random. But Tua, even though he only played 11 games, I believe, he still passed for 2,867 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
How much you want to bet that's all because he got to Tyreek Hill within 10 yards and then Tyreek just took off?
I mean, yeah, that's put him on a bad team. I mean, put him on a team that doesn't have any receivers.
I guess Tua's more of a guy that will pepper the middle and make completions. But you got to respect that game, I guess.
Yeah, and Tua, I'm not going to hate on it. He threw a nice amount of touchdowns in 11 games. Now, Zach Wilson was brought in from the Denver Broncos. Obviously, you may know Zach Wilson's name from the New York Jets when they took him second overall in one of the most wild quarterback classes ever. I mean, it's a quarterback class that was supposed to be filled with superstars. It's just busts. Barely anyone good came out of that class.
Trevor Lawrence is probably the only outlier.
And he was the first overall pick. And to be honest, he has not lived up to the expectations of a number one overall pick. I'm not saying he's playing bad, because he did right in the beginning of his career. He was taking on teams like the Chiefs.
He also had Urban Meyer as his head coach.
Yeah, so I liked what Trevor Lawrence was doing, and I still think there is a chance that he could really keep his career on the tracks. Right now, he's a little bit off of them, but have another big year from Brian Thomas Jr., new head coach. Let's see what happens, and I'm rooting for the guy. But the number 2 pick was Zach Wilson. The number 3 pick was Trey Lance to the 49ers. And then it was...
I think it was Mac Jones and then Justin Fields.
Mac Jones at 11, and then Fields at 15.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or was it switched?
I think Mac Jones went a little bit earlier, because that was after Brady left.
The Bears traded up to get Justin Fields.
They did trade up, but I think the Bears made the playoffs that year. The year before.
So, let's just say it's a very disappointing. Trevor Lawrence is the only one in that first-round group of quarterbacks who is still on his original team. And we completely got derailed there. Wow, we were supposed to make this segment quick. All right, so Zach Wilson, the last time he played, because he did not play at all for the Denver Broncos. He was on the practice squad. Last time he played was with the Jets. He played 12 games, so one more than Tua. He passed for 2,271 yards. So he was in the same wheelhouse as Tua, but he only passed for 8 touchdowns, and just like Tua, he threw 7 interceptions.
Okay.
So honestly, I feel like the New York Jets fans and the Jets in general were freaking out about Zach Wilson. Those numbers on paper are not terrible.
It's just super underperforming compared to what a number 2 overall pick. The expectations that come with it.
Right. So I think Zach Wilson should not have signed with the Dolphins.
No.
I think if there was any other place he could have gone, he should have. But I guess with Tua getting hurt, and he did not expect the blind side of the Dolphins drafting Quinn Ewers in the 7th round. All right? And I was kind of hyped about Quinn Ewers, but I was unsure where he would go. He was kind of a dark horse, kind of like a Spencer Rattler almost, but Rattler went higher. He went in the 4th.
Yeah.
So Quinn Ewers gets taken in the 7th. Obviously, expectations for a 7th round pick aren't high. He is at the bottom. The only way to go is up from there, where Zach Wilson started his career at the top, and he had a great chance to fall down. All right? And from the reports that are coming in from the Miami Dolphins training camps, it sounds like Quinn Ewers is dominating.
Yeah.
He's doing really, really good. He's 22 years old. This could be very interesting.
Yeah.
For the Miami Dolphins. I think we could see something that could overtake Tua.
Yeah, possibly. If Tua can't stay healthy. Because realistically, with his contract and how much Mike McDaniels loved him, I would expect that Tua would probably keep the starting job, unless he has a catastrophic failure of a season.
I would agree with that, but I think Tua and Mike will go at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it could be, if this year ends up being a bust, they're both gone. And Quinn Ewers quite possibly could become the franchise quarterback, but a silly situation could happen. Imagine this. Miami Dolphins tank. They do terrible. Mike McDaniels out the door. Tua out the door, which would be interesting. I think Tua could actually do better on a different team. a change of scenery, let's say.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, they tank. They do terrible. Number 1 overall pick, or at least a top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Hear this reunite. Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers. Bum.
Wow.
I mean, how crazy would that be?
If
you bring Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers back together, which would stink for Quinn Ewers because he would just get another team and Arch Manning overshadows him.
I mean, that's kind of how Arch Manning was in Quinn Ewers' final years at Texas, I guess.
And even though Quinn Ewers threw 31 touchdowns, and he was still in the shadow of Arch Manning, who was his backup, even though he did play, a good amount of snaps.
I guess Quinn Ewers just didn't have I guess he had Arch Manning just breathing down his back, and we were all waiting for Arch Manning to take the spot of Quinn Ewers at the end of the year.
Yeah. But I think Dolphins, we can both agree, we said this in a previous episode, but they're a sinking ship.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about to get eaten by sharks, like in Jaws. Let's just think of it like Jaws when the boat's going down and the shark's right there. That's what's going on with the Dolphins.
I guess it's a pretty fitting analogy, movie analogy. Dolphins getting eaten by sharks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Miles, for this week's QAQB on the Miami Dolphins. But we got to move on to a new segment, Career Resurgences in the NFL. I got a list of names who are on new teams and could potentially have some maybe career resurgences. They're a little bit older.
Yep.
Most of them are.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and start off with a Miami Dolphins player, Darren Waller, the tight end they traded for. This is a spicy one right off the bat.
We're going hot in.
Backstory here, Darren Waller used to be a really good all-pro tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders, was traded to the New York Giants, had a little bit of injury issues, ended up retiring, and most recently, he was a music artist, and a very successful music artist at that. But he was brought out of retirement when the New York Giants traded him to the Miami Dolphins to replace Jonnu Smith, who went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Miles, what do you think of a possible Darren Waller resurgence?
Well, first of all, this is a really weird scenario. I mean, Darren Waller coming out of retirement just to get traded, it's weird. It's kind of got Brett Favre vibes, even though Darren Waller and Brett Favre are two very different people.
Yep.
But Darren Waller career resurgence, as much as we would like to see it, the likelihood of a guy who right now is on the PUP, a physically unable to perform list, because Mike McDaniel released a statement saying that he's in tremendous shape. He's doing great, but he is not in football shape. And to me, that's something scary to be thinking about when he's most likely going to be your starting tight end. So a career resurgence, I think, is unlikely, even though we would love to see it.
Yeah, since he's on the PUP list, doesn't that mean he's not going to be able to play for 7 weeks or something?
Yeah, it does. I don't know the exact stats of it or what the rules are for it, but I do believe he will be out for a little while. And that is not great when you just traded your starting tight end.
Yeah. All right, next player is Mac Jones, the current backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And Mac Jones most recently played for the Jacksonville Jaguars as Trevor Lawrence's backup, speak of the devil, and he was drafted by the New England Patriots in 2021, part of that same class with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Justin Fields and all those other guys. So what would you say is the likelihood of a Mac Jones resurgence?
I'm going to say likely for this one because we saw it's exactly what Sam Darnold did, right? He's a backup, right? Darnold was a backup, right? Goes to the Niners, same thing as Darnold. And backup, learn from Kyle Shanahan, one of the best coaches in the game right now. And go to a different team and fight for that starting job. And I think Mac Jones can really do that if he just has patience, sits with the 49ers for a little bit, and goes. Maybe he'll start a game or two because Brock Purdy gets hurt or something.
Yeah.
And that would be great for him to build up a little bit of a resume because even in the Patriots, he didn't do terrible.
He just had a terrible supporting cast.
He had no one. Absolutely no one. So you can't hate on him for that. And that's the same as Sam Darnold when he was on the Jets, right?
Yeah.
He had nobody. He was on a terrible team. So I think Mac Jones has a highly likely chance of getting a career resurgence. What that looks like, I'm not sure, but a starting job, I believe, is in his future.
All right, moving on to the man who was out of the league last year, Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver, now currently on the Carolina Panthers. The reason Hunter Renfrow actually missed last year after he didn't re-sign with the Las Vegas Raiders is he was battling an illness. I actually forget the exact name of the illness, and most likely I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. So he actually was losing weight rapidly and was not able to perform in football, but he's able to beat that illness and come back, and he's in really good shape. And so far in camp, he's been running really good routes. He's got really good hands.
Yep.
He's borderline a Pro Bowl receiver with the Raiders. So what's the likelihood of a Hunter Renfrow resurgence?
I'm gonna have to talk this one out, because you look at the Panthers last year. If he's on the Panthers, where he is now, and he was on the Panthers last year, I would say it's likely, because they had nobody. Adam Thielen was thriving, right? And if Adam Thielen's thriving, I believe Hunter Renfrow would thrive as well. But now with the additions of Teddertoe and McMillan, you got Xavier Legette coming back. You got Jimmy Horn Jr. from Colorado, even though there's not a lot of hype from him. I am very hyped about that guy. His Colorado tape was great, and I think Jimmy Horn Jr. will be a little underdog there. But I don't think it's likely Hunter Renfrow will come in good. I think if he plays preseason, he'll have a great preseason. But all around through the season, I think injuries could take him down, and just all around, poor performance.
So you say this?
I don't think he's going to get the ball a lot.
Okay, I agree with that, unless he really performs well in training camp. If he continues to perform like he has.
Right.
Would you say this would be his last potential good NFL opportunity, or is there another opportunity maybe down the line for him?
I think this is his best opportunity. Right now you're on a Panthers team that doesn't have the biggest, or, they don't have a lot of veterans, right, on that wide receiving group. They got Adam Thielen. So you bring in another veteran, he's got a chance to not only, help try to resurge his career, but he also has a chance to build careers for the guys behind him. And I think that's really important. And so I think, he'll have a good showing with the Panthers. Will he have a Pro Bowl season? No.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't expect that from Hunter Renfrow, but I would expect that he would, if he makes the team, he would do something. He'd be an impact. He'd be a role player.
Yeah, role player.
All right. Next one, Jalen Ramsey, now on the Pittsburgh Steelers after a brief stint with the Miami Dolphins, and before that, he was on the Rams and the Jaguars. So, what do you think about a Jalen Ramsey resurgence? Not to say he was bad, but it's not as good as we've seen from Jalen Ramsey. And can he live up to that contract that he has?
I think it's likely. I think this one was a little bit tougher for me, because I'm really scared that injuries will ruin his little stint here with the Steelers. But if he stays healthy, he's got Mike Tomlin. Oh my gosh. I think he could be really, really important for that Steelers team. And the same thing with Hunter Renfrow. He will be a key piece to shaping the future of that cornerback group, including Joey Porter Jr.
Oh, yeah, I remember Joey Porter Jr. He was pretty good last year.
Yeah, and I think you give him Jalen Ramsey, a guy he can really learn from. It's going to be great.
All right. Moving on to another corner. Jair Alexander, former Packer. Love Jair.
Yeah.
Now he's on the Baltimore Ravens, paired up with his old college buddy, Lamar Jackson. So what's a likelihood of a bounce back or resurgence from Jair Alexander?
Sadly, I'm going to have to say it's very likely.
Yeah.
And I say sadly not because I don't like Jair, but because he's not going to be with the Packers with this resurgence. But he stays healthy. He is still a good corner. I don't think he's going to be blow you away corner, but I do believe he will be a vital piece for the Ravens to compete for a Super Bowl.
All right. And the final player is a running back, Najee Harris, now on the Los Angeles Chargers after spending the majority of his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's the likelihood of a Najee Harris resurgence?
Oh, with Harbaugh at the coach, Herbert at the quarterback, I think this is a very likely resurgence for him. I don't think it'll be a long resurgence. I think he'll probably dip down again and bounce around the league for the rest of his career. But I do think he will, bounce back, I think this year could be the best year it's gonna be the best for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna have a better year from this year moving on.
Okay, so maybe like a resurgence to earn that title of backup for life. Maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of like what maybe like Aaron Jones, or like kind of on the career like Aaron Jones has, but like he's earned that
Right.
caliber of
right
respect.
under Aaron Jones is where I would put him.
All right, makes sense. All right, well that's all we got for our career resurgences. Now we're gonna move on to another segment. We're gonna talk about MLB MLB trade deadline article by Jeff Passman of ESPN. Now I'm gonna look at a couple of names here, and it's not all of them because some of these guys on here by Jeff Passan have insanely low trade chances. Like Joe Ryan of the Twins, he has a 10% chance of trade. So I'm not gonna talk about Joe Ryan very much, but the number one on here is Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's a third baseman. Chance of trade, 90%. Best fits the Cubs, Mariners, Brewers, Reds, and Phillies. First off the bat, I would love to see him on the Brewers, but with Caleb Durbin heating up, I don't think it's really likely that the Brewers are going to go in for him. Though we have seen in the past where the Brewers go in for a third baseman from the Diamondbacks. I'm looking at Eduardo Escobar back in 2021. But I would love to see Suarez on the Brewers, I should say, but with the amount we'd have to give up, I just don't think it's worth it for 1 year. Not even a full year of Suarez, but like a half a year of Suarez. I don't think it's worth it. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, I don't think he's 34, 36 years old. And just, he's playing great and we get that pop from him off the bat. If the Brewers feel like they're in a win now situation, go ahead. Right? Who am I to judge? But looking at that team, when you got guys, Bryce Durang, Sal Frelick, Isaac Collins, Joey Ortiz, Caleb Durbin, those guys, Jacob Mizorowski, those guys, to me, they are a win now team, but they're also going to be fit for the future.
Yeah.
And Suarez isn't, and we're not like a team built on old guys. We do have a few guys that are older, but I don't see them making a move for somebody that big. Maybe a guy like a shortstop, maybe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Brewers, do you think Jose Quintana is going to get traded at the deadline?
I was talking to my father, right?
Yeah.
And we were disagreeing about this. I said, maybe they would trade him. They could flip him, get some good pieces for that. But then he made a very good point. They need somebody solid going into the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. Why trade him when you have, a very solid pitcher in Jose Quintana? And yes, he's not going to be, your future or whatever. He's 36. But, hey, if we're winning now and we're trying to win and we have been very good, why get rid of him? Unless you can flip him, and I don't know how much he's valued, but if he's valued a lot, then, hey, go make the move. But I think they should hold on to him unless the price is right.
All right, I agree with that. I do think the Brewers should trade him because we got Nestor Cortez coming back soon, and I think I'd rather have Cortez than Quintana because
but Quintana's proved himself.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll see. One of them is definitely getting moved.
Yeah, and I would be fine seeing Quintana get traded. I have no emotional connection.
All right. What about Jarren Duran of the Red Sox? Chance of trade 25%. Best possible fits are San Diego, Atlanta, Cleveland, Kansas City, San Francisco, or the Phillies in Philadelphia. Now, the only reason why he get traded is he has the least amount of team control for the next couple years, and the Red Sox just have so many outfielders. They got Roman Anthony, Ceddanne Rafaela, who's been playing really good, and Wilyer Abreu, who's also been playing really good. And the Red Sox, they need pitching, and right now they got a plethora of outfielders to give. So what do you think about Jarren Duran?
I don't hate it. I think that he could definitely be traded, and I agree with you with their outfield depth. You flip him for a good pitcher, it could be pretty good. Good pitcher, crappy prospects that maybe you can develop. It'd be very interesting to see him reunite with Rafi Devers in San Francisco. But, I don't see the likelihood of that, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe if he goes to San Diego, they can swap Duran for Dylan Cease. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That would be really crazy. All right, moving on to another one. Merrill Kelly of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chance of trade 70%. I see the Diamondbacks stealing him. He's a little bit older, yes, but he's on the final year of his contract. And we just saw Seth Lugo get an extension from the Royals. So, I think Merrill Kelly is definitely a guy that can help a team like the Red Sox. And he's named on here, Toronto, Boston, Houston, and the Cubs. So, I think Merrill Kelly could get on here. I don't think the Brewers are going to target him, for all you Brewers fans out there. But I think Merrill Kelly can definitely be traded. What do you think, Miles?
I would agree. I think there's no reason. I think for that Diamondbacks team, the only person who's safe is Corbin Carroll.
I would agree.
And everyone else you can ship out, and I don't think there's going to be much problems with that.
Another Diamondback, Zach Gallen, who has a chance to trade 70% as well.
Yep.
Same kind of fits as Merrill Kelly. He's just not performing as good as Merrill Kelly currently right now.
Right.
In a contract year, which is kind of surprising for me. So
yeah, hey, I mean he's a arguable ace. So I think maybe the Red Sox make a trade for him, right? It'd be interesting to see Corbin Carroll and Duran in the same outfield.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'd be down for it because Duran is he's on the younger side.
Yeah, definitely. Sandy Alcantara as well from the Miami Marlins. Chance to trade 50%. That's definitely a little surprising to me. Cubs, Astros, Boston, Toronto, Dodgers, and San Diego as well. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's likely. I think he'll be gone. I don't think they're going to get as much as they're hoping for him, but you got to get him out.
All right. Only one or two more here. Mitch Keller of the Pirates right now.
Yeah, I think it's likely because really the only guy safe right now is Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Everyone else.
Mitch Keller's been having a career year out in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah.
And Pirates have just so much pitching, which is kind of insane.
Yep.
Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles. How about that? Right now he has an OPS plus of 132, and that's really the statistic that judges how a hitter is playing compared to his peers. Is he above average? Is he below average? Right now he is 32% better than a average hitter. So
yeah,
I think Ryan O'Hearn can definitely be traded as well.
Yeah, he'll be flipped.
Yeah, Orioles have been really, really bad, which is kind of surprising to me. One more. Ryan Helsley of the St. Louis Cardinals, 80% chance.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we could see it.
Potential fits: Dodgers, Philadelphia, and Yankees, Toronto, Detroit, and the Mets and Seattle. Cardinals have a weird team. Like, they just traded Eric Fetty, so I would not be shocked if Ryan Helsley is traded by the Cardinals. But that's all I got. I didn't cover all of them, but
holy cow, our longest episode in history.
I hope you guys enjoy it because we got a lot of content for you guys today.
Yeah, we got a lot.
If you want to hear me give more of these little guys on here, this article by Jeff Passan, let me know down in the comments, and I will do a bonus episode maybe by myself. But that was all we got for you guys today. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.